Good evening, this is Justin from RC4WD. I thought I would give you a little update on the Desert Runner Hero. I apologize for the mess. It's a little difficult to disconnect the body from the chassis. I've got so many lights and connectors going on that I figured I'd just leave it as is. So long story short, I conducted a third servo mod. As you can see, there's the original servo here, and there's a third servo there. The reason why I did that is because I needed a way to actuate the transmission here. This is the two-speed transmission, the Variscale V8 option that you can outfit this truck with. And I found that using one servo to actuate both differentials in addition to the transmission was mission impossible. It was very difficult to calibrate the action of the cable. Whenever I was trying to play with the exponential to have a proper or a better action for the differential, it messed up the transmission and vice versa. So I ended up putting the transmission on a separate servo that you see here. What I did, I ended up cutting a little hole the size of the servo there, and I basically plopped the servo in and screwed it right here, as you can see. I used a plastic servo horn. The reason why I did that is because the holes for the size of servo, the hole here for the size of servo that I have is too big to be able to use the easy connector that is the method that I used to pull on the cable. That easy connector, here's the bag right there, is basically a connector for a plain aileron. So I made a hole in the plastic servo horn, got it to connect here. As you can see, I removed the metal sleeve that was there. I could have kept it, but it was just a little bit in the way. I put a bit of plastic here to mitigate the rubbing that's going on here. And long story short, that enabled me to separate the action of the transmission and the differentials, which means that I no longer have to be fully locked when I'm in low gear or fully open when I'm high gear. When I'm in high gear, I can play around with it, and calibrating the servos is a lot easier now that since they're now dedicated to one function and one function only. So that's one thing that I thought I'd share with you guys. I was also thinking of perhaps adding a third servo somewhere at the back here to separate the actions of both locking differentials, but that may be, we'll see how that works. One quirk of this truck is that the cabling here is, that controls both differentials is way too long. There's very little torque because it's so long, which is why I thought of even separating, the action of those two differentials. So I'll let you know how it goes. Right now, my front differential is a bit finicky. It works, but it can sort of jump out of lock. The rear one seems fine. I'll turn on the transmitter and show you in a sec. Sorry for that. All right, so don't know which gear I'm in right now. That's definitely high gear. All right, so for the gear, I use channel number 5. So when I turn it off, that puts me in low gear. So you can see the shaft turns, relatively slowly, and then halfway there, and you can see here there you go, that's high gear. And then when it comes to the locking differentials, I'm using channel 3 here, and you'll see the little lever there right here. So that's open, locked. There you go.